What's going on, everyone? So the San Antonio Spurs officially signed Dylan Harper to his contract for, the foreseeable future. So now he's officially a Spur, right? We knew that this was coming, but it's exciting, right? Now is the ushering in of the Dylan Harper era. And you have him with Victor Wembanyama, Stefon Castle, Carter Bryant, right? Jeremy Sohan. Like, you got a lot of just young, very talented, very versatile players. Even a guy like a Julian Champagnie, I think, as like just a rotation 3-and-D guy, I think has a lot of potential long-term for this team. Nice, good, quality young core, right? You got De'Aaron Fox and Harrison Barnes as your two kind of veterans. I'd like to bring in another vet, or Luke Cornett, is another vet too, in the backup center role. I thought that was a great acquisition, but I'd like to can you bring in another vet or take a flyer, another young guy? We'll see what they do to kind of round out the rest of this roster. But Dylan Harper, he's supposed to be the guy, right? He's supposed to be the man, the franchise cornerstone alongside a Victor Wembanyama, right? And the Spurs believe that they have ushered in the new big three that are going to bring and yield multiple championships and a new potential dynasty down the road. And Dylan Harper, Stefon Castle, and Victor Wembanyama. And look, very possible, right? I mean, Victor Wembanyama could be a top 5 player in the league as soon as next year, right? And to have a Stefon Castle, like, what kind of strides does he take in year 2? I also think Stefon Castle is like the ideal third guy, right? Because I talk about him in the sense of like a Jimmy Butler all the time, right? And the reason, not saying that he's as good or ever even will be as good, but more so in the sense of like Jimmy Butler is a guy, he doesn't care. He just wants to win. And whatever he has to do to win is what he's willing to do. You need me to give you 20? I can go get you 20. You need me to just go get you 5 and then get 10 rebounds and 8 assists and 4 steals and just play defense and do the hustle plays, do the dirty work because everyone else is hot and I don't want to take away from them, right? Like, most stars want their attempts. Like, most stars want hey man, I need my 18 field goal attempts and want to put up their 25 or whatever. But like Jimmy Butler's a guy, he doesn't really care about that. He just wants to win. Like Stefon Castle, I see in that mold of a guy that's like, hey, I know I can go get 20. I know I can go get 25. I know I can even go drop 30. But is that what this team needs for us to win? Right? Dylan Harper and Victor Wembanyama and Carter Bryant, all these guys, they're all cooking. They're all lighting teams up. Right? And, hey, do your thing. I'm not going to take away from that, right? I'll just do the dirty work. I will do the hustle play. I will play the defense, die for loose, but I will do the dirt, right? Love that. But at any moment, hey, Dylan Harper, he's having a bad night. Happens. Don't worry, I got you. Give me the rock. Let me go to work, right? I love that. So you have this young foundation. Carter Bryant. I think, so there have been a lot of reports about the Spurs big 3. I really think it's 4. I really like Carter Bryant. I think best case scenario, Carter Bryant's like the next Kawhi Leonard. I think worst case scenario, he's like a Mikal Bridges type, right? Like, just like a really good two-way guy that could create for himself, create a little bit for others, right? Not a superstar, nothing crazy like that, but a guy that, is just really good at the game of basketball, right? That's kind of what I look at. Maybe kind of in the middle where he's like an OG type, right? Just, able to defend 1 through 5, go get your buckets, do a little bit of everything. But so Carter Bryant, don't sleep on Carter Bryant. I feel like he's not getting it. I get he's the 14th pick, and Spurs just landed a guy in Dylan Harper who's looked at as, one of the potential faces of the league, in 5 years or whatever. So I get it, but don't sleep on Carter Bryant. He's a guy that I wouldn't be shocked if he's the best player on the Spurs besides Victor Wembanyama. I'm not saying he will be. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it wouldn't surprise me. Like, if you had a time machine and you could jump to the future and you came back and you were like, hey, just to let you know, Carter Bryant actually is like the guy on that team, I'd be like, yeah, I believe it, right? So, again, but this is exciting, right? It's the new fresh beginning, the new fresh start. Spurs are going to have some tough decisions to make. I'm not saying they have to necessarily make them right now or even this season. But, Devin Vassell, something. De'Aaron Fox, there's a lot of talks about it. I know anytime I talk about, the Spurs potentially trading De'Aaron Fox, Spurs fans don't really like it. But again, I'm not an insider. I'm not a reporter. I am only going off of the information that's out there from Spurs people, right? Spurs people are saying that, hey, Spurs might look to trade De'Aaron Fox. Doesn't matter what we think. Doesn't matter what you think. Doesn't matter what I think, right? If they if they feel like, hey, we might need to trade De'Aaron Fox, they're going to trade De'Aaron Fox. At some point, you're going to have to make a decision. At some point, you're going to have to make a decision on De'Aaron Fox, Dylan Harper, and Stefon Castle, because you're not going to run 6'3" to 6'5". I guess Stefon Castle's like 6'6", but you get the point. Like, you're not running 3 guards all night and all game. And at some point, Dylan Harper's going to be like, dude, I'm supposed to be the guy. When am I going to get to be the guy? I know Spurs fans, hey, Manu Ginobili, Manu does it, everyone will do it. We're not in that era anymore. And Manu was a rare species. And that's what made Manu so great. Like, that's the difference, right? Manu, like, when do you see that happen? When are players who could be starters anywhere else and be, maybe even one of the, main guys anywhere else is willing to go, you know what, I'd rather just come off the bench for the Spurs and stay in my role and play my part. It never happens, right? Like, Manu's the only guy. So again, we privileged in that sense. Got to keep in mind, we got Stefon Castle. How long is he going to want to, if he's the guy coming off the bench, how long is he going to want to be coming off the bench for? I'm not saying it has to happen right now. I'm not saying the Spurs will necessarily do it right now, but I just don't want anybody to be shocked if De'Aaron Fox ends up getting traded at the trade deadline or something like that, and then people, are not going to be happy about it. But you have, like, the Spurs' focus now is the core. When you went and got De'Aaron Fox, no one expected to get Dylan Harper, right? So I've seen people be like, oh, well, they never would have traded for him to now trade him. And I'm like, they didn't trade for him to trade him. They traded for him to be the guy, and then they ended up landing the guy. Like, they didn't know. Like, you think the Spurs had a crystal ball and we're like, oh, here we go. The Spurs' focus are their 3 main guys: Harper, Castle, and Victor Wembanyama. Those 3 guys. That's it. Whatever those 3 guys need, that's what the Spurs are going to do. If Dylan Harper starts getting itchy, guess what? De'Aaron Fox, sorry. If Stefon Castle starts getting itchy, you know what, De'Aaron Fox, sorry. The conversation, like, all of the reports aren't including De'Aaron Fox. They're including Dylan Harper, Stefon Castle, and Victor Wembanyama. Those are the guys. Those are the 3 guys that they want to keep. That's the new Parker, Manu, and Tim Duncan, right? That's what that is. I was going to say Victor Wembanyama, but we have Victor Wembanyama, right? So that's the thing. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see kind of the progress, see where this team ends up going this season. Obviously, I'm not expecting them to win a championship or anything like that, but can they at least make the play-in? Maybe make the playoffs. Can they stumble into the playoffs? That would be kind of cool. We'll see. Time will tell. But just again, day at a time. Take it step at a time. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.